busy.
It's time for Wind Down Wednesday with Fort Wayne FC head coach Mike Avery, and today we're downtown at the Country Heritage Winery, located on Harrison Street. Today we're also joined by Fort Wayne FC goalkeeper Aurie Briscoe and center back Rodolfo Sulia. Welcome, guys. So, coach.
Yeah.
After 3 road games in 8 days with Buffalo, Cleveland, and then that edge of your seat game in Toledo, we're back home this Saturday, June 3rd. How's the team coming together as we see more players arrive and adjust throughout all of this?
Yeah, coming together really well. It feels like we were just talking about it. We were only gone for a week. We had 3 games in 8 days, but it felt like we were gone for a long time. So it feels like the team's been together for a long time, when in reality, if we're actually counting the number of days, it's still right at its infancy. But that's one of the nice things about, even though it's a challenge, but it is nice to have so many away games in a row. It really brings you together. It's an opportunity to come together and spend time on the bus, or in our case, we're on a plane one time. And just, you get to know people in a different way. And so I think the team handled it very well. I thought we played pretty well. What I like is I feel like we're getting better every time out, which is kind of the goal of this thing, is just to keep getting better every day. And I think the results kind of speak to that too. We did okay.
Great. Speaking of Toledo, Aurie, you had some pretty critical saves during that match. What was going through your head during that match?
Honestly, during the match, especially towards the latter part, when it was the 95th minute, I was just thinking you just got to stay focused and you can't let your team down. I noticed that I play better when I put others in front of me instead of my own goals. And of course I wanted a clean sheet, but when that was taken away, it was, how can I win now? And, you know, with all the field players running around and working hard to score goals, I can't let them down.
Coach, you're leading the Valley Division right now with a 3-0-1 record and sitting at the top with 10 points. How do you keep that momentum going as we go into a long stretch of June games?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we like being at the top of the table. We've said it right from day one, right, that we want to be the team that everybody's chasing. And so far we've been able to do that. Everybody's got to keep chasing us now. But it really that matters if you keep doing it, right? So, you know, we got to keep winning, and the only way that we know how to do that is just to go day by day. You know, I said this last time that we were here, and I say it to these guys all the time. I'm not maybe the best person to talk about future games, because I don't even look at that stuff. I don't know the number of points we have compared to somebody else, because really what I focus on is the day to day. We had a great training session this morning, and we're going to have another one tomorrow, and that's really where my focus is as we build towards a home game on Saturday. I know that I'm excited to be back in town for the weekend and to play, and I don't know how you guys feel. It feels like we've been gone for a while, right?
Yeah.
And so to come back and to play in front of our crowd, and maybe to show off a little bit, look, we have grown. We've gotten better from day one to now, and then we hopefully that trajectory continues.
Great. Mike, we get asked a lot of different questions about the team throughout the season, and I think one of the top questions we get asked is, how do you get guys to come to Fort Wayne, Indiana? How did you get these 2 guys in particular to come want to play for Fort Wayne FC?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a great question, because we do have really unique stories within our team. And almost all of them come with some sort of connection, whether it's to me or to DeMarcus or somebody in our staff. That's usually the initial point. You know, I've got a database. I don't know that anybody watches more college soccer games than I do. I spend the whole fall. I saw like 40 games live in the fall. I probably saw another 80 or 90 games online, maybe 2 or 3 a day. And I develop a database of players, not just for this summer's team, but for the future. When we make the jump to the pro level, I want to have a pool of players that we can track and follow and see who's a good fit for us. And so it usually starts with somebody sends me a name, or I see a player on my own when I'm watching a game, whether on the team I'm watching or on the other team that I'm watching. Somehow the player comes into my radar, and then I just do my research and my work. And so in the case of Aurie, for example, really kind of an interesting story, because Aurie's name came to my awareness first from DeMarcus Beasley. So DeMarcus, as we know, played at PSV Eindhoven at some point in his career, and the PSV people talked to Aurie, or talked about DeMarcus about Aurie, right? So Aurie, tell us, how did your interaction with PSV come? Where did that come from?
It started when I got invited to go to a PSV Eindhoven camp, and there's about 500 kids, and the winner got to go on trial for PSV Eindhoven, and only 2 could be selected. And fortunately, I was picked to go on trial with PSV Eindhoven's U19 team with the head coach, who is Ruud van Nistelrooy. It was a wonderful experience to go over there. I did really well over there, but unfortunately, the last day I tore my labrum, so I wasn't able to make the team. But even so, it was a great experience to have.
Yeah, so again, he's 16 years old. He's living in New Jersey. He goes to a camp. He wins an opportunity to go to PSV. His name gets on their radar. Those people talk to DeMarcus, comes to us. And so I get his name. I see he plays at Rutgers University now. Call the Rutgers coach, who I know. Start to watch games, do research, and then get him on the phone. And then finally start to try and establish a relationship. I know what we're looking for from a characteristic of a player. You know, a goalkeeper, for example, we're a team that wants to be brave and play with the ball and build the game from the back to the front. So goalkeepers that understand that, obviously making saves and all the stuff that they do in the goal, that goes without saying. But he's also got to be willing to help us start the attack with the game. And so, you know, I watched enough of him on video to see that he's a good fit for what we're going to do. I got enough great recommendations from the people that I trust, and then I have to convince him to come and spend time with us here in Paradise in Fort Wayne, Indiana for the summer. and ultimately that's the greatest part, because it's not just me saying here's what we want to do as a soccer team, but it's also this is what we do in the community. This is what we're trying to build as a club, and making sure that there's some alignment with what his goals are personally, our goals as a club, to make sure that there's an alignment there. And in this case, a perfect alignment. So he's been a great fit for us and got us started. Also, our young compadre there in Rodolfo, similar, right? So funny enough, these two, I didn't know when I recruited them both individually that they actually had a connection where they had been both called into the Puerto Rican National Team at the same time before. So there's interesting interconnections even within our team that I didn't realize until we got here. So Rodolfo, also a very experienced young man. He's just 21, right? When's 22 coming?
August.
In August. So he'll be 22 in August. But grew up in Puerto Rico, has experiences playing in Mexico and Colombia and Argentina. Chicago House in the NISA League most recently. So his name came to me through a player that I coached many years ago in South Bend named Chris Castro. Chris lived in Puerto Rico for a while and played and has helped Rodolfo in his own career find the next step for him along the way. So he gave me that name, and then I started again doing my research. Is he the kind of player that we want? Center back. He's big, strong, tough, easy to see. But can he play? Can he use the ball at his feet? Does he see the passes that we're trying to make? And again, just a really good fit for us. So for me, easy connection. I didn't realize that they had a connection to each other. And then that connection we're going to talk about, I know, here in just a minute, about what comes next for these guys. But so, you know, Rodolfo, all of these experiences, did you ever think that you were going to end up in Fort Wayne, Indiana? Was that on your radar?
If I'm being honest, no. Yeah, it wasn't like, no, USA, like, overall. I've been trying to, like, look for South America to make that jump to Europe, but I'm seeing that USA has a pretty good, like, standards right now. The soccer here is getting big, and, you know, when Coach Mike, like, talked to me, he told me about the project that we have now and we have in the future, and it's a pretty good project. So I'm proud to be in this team, and let's go for the league.
Yeah. Yeah, again, and that's really the biggest thing to me. It's not just what can we do for them in the summer, but there's a relationship. They have to be willing and want to do for us as well. And that's what I love about these guys and the rest of the guys in the team is that when they say yes to come here, they understand that they're coming into an agreement that we're gonna do everything we can to showcase them and help them grow and get where they need to be as individuals. But there's also a responsibility that comes back onto it for them, not just to win and play games and to play hard. That's the easy part, but what we do outside of it, what we're trying to build as a club.
Exactly. So, Mike, you already sort of touched on this, but let's elaborate a little bit for both Aurie and Rodolfo, who they're going to be leaving Fort Wayne FC for just a short period. They're going to head out to Fort Lauderdale to represent their country, Puerto Rico, in the national team camp in preparation for that first game on June 17th against Suriname. First of all, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Big honor. So very, very proud of you guys. How do you feel so far that playing with Fort Wayne may have maybe helped you for this opportunity?
You go first.
Training every day is something I look forward to. I wake up and I think, how can I get better today? Every day it's a new goal. How can we get better every single day? Not only individually, but as a team. Like Coach Mike said earlier, I can see the improvements the team is making throughout every day. From the start versus King's Hammer to Toledo, it's, in my opinion, a completely different team. In the first half versus Toledo, it was some brilliant soccer, something I've never seen before. So in preparation for Puerto Rico, playing hard and getting better, not only in my strengths, but with my weaknesses as well, it helps me prepare to play against Suriname.
So yeah, going in the same line, like when you're trying to be a national team player or be a national team player, you want to be surrounded by good people, by good players, by an environment that you stay active and you can be at your maximum. So I think this club it fit perfectly for what we have on June, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, it's really interesting too. Just to elaborate a little bit, this is like a golden time for the Puerto Rican national team. They have an opportunity. They're going to be playing in the Nations League tournament. So all 41 countries that are playing in CONCACAF play in this tournament. And if they're able to be successful in these games that are coming up, Suriname, and if they win that one, they play the winner of Martinique and St. Lucia,
Yeah.
right? And if they're the winner of that little group, they'll qualify for next year's Gold Cup, which is a massive event, which will include the United States and Canada and Mexico and the traditional powers of CONCACAF. And this would be the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that Puerto Rico's qualified for the Gold
Yes.
Cup if we're able to be successful. And so they're a good group, they're a growing group. These guys are in a position now as young players in the team to really come in and provide great support. And so, look, I'm so excited for them. I'm excited for all of us because they're going to go away for a couple of weeks, represent their country in a tournament, and then come back and share those experiences with the rest of our team. And so we get better for that as well.
Exactly. I'm sure you guys have already been able to tell in just the 2 home games that we've seen that we have a really loyal fan base. We're a USL2 team, but we bring in the crowd. They love Fort Wayne, and they love our players, and they support you guys. What kind of messages do you send to our fans? They're excited to learn more about the players, to see where you guys come from, to learn more about you as people, not just as players. So that's one of the reasons we're doing these Wind Down Wednesdays, is to get you guys out there as well. But so far about Fort Wayne, what do you guys think of Fort Wayne? What do you think when you walk on that field and you see that crowd? Just first thoughts.
For me, exciting. Even for a USL2 team, like it's a very loyal. Like they make the grill like before the match, and that's really impressive for like Fort Wayne or the USL2 team or whatever. But and you can get the vibe that they gave you out the field and in the field. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty like happy to like being here and feel that comfort that the fans like gave you.
It was actually a funny story that my first game, I was like 2 days after I arrived here. So
Welcome to League Two.
and
What's your name? Hop in the goal. Yeah.
and
yeah.
and I remember just the feeling I had when the ref blew the whistle in the first 5 minutes and the crowd started playing the drums, and that was one of the most nervous feelings I ever had in my career thus far. Like my heart was pounding out of my chest, and like I couldn't even hear myself yell. There was that many people, and before I arrived to the field, I asked. I think I was driving with Cozy. I was like, "Did this many people come every single time?" And I was surprised to see that many people and the loyalty of the fans showing up for Fort Wayne, and it's something I look forward to. And every single time, when we win the game and the next one comes, I think, can it please be a home game so the fans can be there? And in May it was a bunch of away games, so I'm just itching to get back to play in front of the Fort Wayne fans, and I think it has something to say about Fort Wayne as a whole.
It does. As you could probably tell, again, loyalty. They come out there to see you guys. They're excited. They want you guys to bring more. They're just super excited. And we're really excited to have you guys here with us this season. Mike, is there anything else you'd like to add for this week's episode?
Yeah, first of all, guys, thank you for coming. I know this is probably your first glass of wine ever, and so, but I don't like to be here alone. I don't drink alone, so I like to have some friends with me when I come down for Wine Down Wednesday. We're really excited for you and proud of you, and wish you all the best in your journeys. They'll go away for 2 weeks and they'll come back to us, so we're excited to get you back as well. And hope that the tournament goes really well. And then for our friends and our fans, June is a busy month. We've got a lot of home games. I want to think we have 8 home games over the month of June. It's a great opportunity for us to be playing at home, but we hope to see everybody come out. We've got some great games coming up. Exhibition on Saturday night, King's Hammer the following weekend on Saturday, and then just a rapid fire slate of games coming up. So I think it's an exciting time. June's a great month. If we can just keep the weather turned down a little bit, we're going to talk to the local meteorologist if we can find one and see if we can turn the heat down a little bit. But it's been a good start, and we hope to keep it going.
Great. Well, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Good luck.
Thank you.